Hello, welcome back. I'm Nate.
I'm Mikey.
We're here to help you improve your balance. So here we are again, day 3. This is the Stand Tall, Don't Fall class on balance, strength, flexibility, and posture. So today's class, we're going to be focused on flexibility. And a lot of people don't realize that flexibility affects your posture. So what Bill Case says here is, your posture consists of about 206 bones for a stable foundation, 640 muscles or 320 pairs of muscles on the front and back of your spine to move and functionally stabilize your posture. There's also muscles, tendons, and ligaments placed throughout your spine and extremities for functional support. Daily exercise is needed for flexibility and mobility of your spine. When muscles become tight and inflexible, then unnecessary aches and pains may occur. So if you notice, if you sit for a long time, you get stiff and then all of a sudden it's very hard to move. If you compound that over a career, a lifetime, all your movements really will add up to poor posture. So these are some exercises and stretches you can do to improve your posture and therefore improve your balance.
Definitely, yeah. So let us know what you think. Like, share this video. Let's get this information out there. I think all we're going to need today is a strap. All right, we're mostly going to be going through the stretches. So without further ado, we're going to get to the floor. So find a nice clear space. All right, and
yeah, I can. You want to be the model here?
All right.
So go ahead and lay down on your back, and it's important to be friends with the floor. So make your way down to the ground. You can put out a blanket or something if you need it to be softer. Don't do this on a hardwood floor. Okay, carpet or rug is good. And the first one is the supine hip flexor stretch. So supine just means you're laying on your back, and the hip flexors are the muscles in the front of your thighs that flex your hips. So go ahead and stretch one of your legs out and bend your other knee and hold behind your thigh, and then just simply pull it toward your chest. And so you're going to stretch those hip flexors right here in the front of your thighs. Okay, so the key here to stretching, really in general, stretching and the flexibility has a lot to do with your nervous system. How much your body is tense and stressed out has a lot to do with your breathing. So when you're stretching, try to slow down your breath here. Take a few nice slow and deep breaths. Especially lengthen your exhale. As your exhale gets a little bit longer, you can almost feel your body just giving up some of that tension. Slow and long exhale. Good. So take about 3 to 5 breaths here. And another tip here is if you use your hands to pull, and you can now hold the outside of your shins if you are feeling more comfortable, or even the foot if it can reach. And then use your arms to pull a little bit and relax the hips. The temptation is actually to use your leg to pull the leg in, but see if you can use the arms to pull the leg in and relax the leg.
Yeah, even a strap or a little towel right here can just give you just that, extra 6 inches or a foot you might need to really take that stress off your upper body too.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I see people, if they have a larger belly or if they're tighter in their hips, they have to really reach forward, and then you're releasing stress here and you're causing it there. So try to use a strap, make your arms longer if you need to reach that, okay? All right, go ahead and switch your feet. And yeah, let it stretch out a little, shake it out if you need. You can hold behind the thigh, in front of the shins, or use a strap around the foot. And really, again, keep noticing, scan through your body, check that your shoulders are relaxed and open and backward. Your neck is long, the chin kind of sucking in and the spine getting longer. We don't want to improve posture on one part of your body and make it worse in another. So focus about 3 to 5 breaths here. Slow down on your exhale. Good. Sometimes closing your eyes can help too. It's amazing just when you close your eyes, your sense of your body, your ability to feel where the tension is, suddenly gets a lot better. You're not as distracted. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and release. And the next one, we're going to do a hamstring stretch. Now this is for the back of your legs. And so if you have a strap there, go ahead and use that. And if you don't have a strap, a yoga strap, you can use a belt or just, a towel.
Towel, yeah.
Something like that works. The straps are nice, especially if they're long enough that you can actually wrap it around your wrists a couple times. And what that does is just takes pressure off of your hands. If you're having to really clench your hands and grip, sometimes that causes tension in your shoulders while you're trying to stretch the hamstrings. So the heel kind of comes up, the foot flattens, and little by little you straighten and stretch. And remember to breathe. And notice you can keep this knee bent. It's also okay if you want to straighten out that bottom leg. And it just increases the stretch a little bit. So if that causes pain in your back, you can bend the knee. So make sure it's comfortable. And notice how Mikey's keeping the elbows down, the shoulders down, the neck, the back of the head down. He's not straining and reaching and rounding.
Yeah, this doesn't take a lot of energy to keep it at this angle. If it's it's down here, you might have to be pulling a little harder. And notice play with the foot too. If you pull the toes down, it's going to change the stretch. You're going to feel it more behind the knees. All right, and if you relax the foot, you can straighten the back of your leg more, get more of the hamstring there. So just notice where that tension is. Play with your toes, spread your feet when you're doing this. That can help.
Alright, and if you haven't yet, you can switch. And one easy way to switch is just put the foot in the strap and then switch it. So you don't have to try to lasso your foot. Alright, so comfortable. It's going to feel probably quite different on one side than the other. I've never met a symmetrical person yet, so we all have some differences left to right, front to back. Alright, so keep coming back to your breath. It's easy to forget. Slow breathing, long exhale. So what he says in the book is when the hamstrings are tight, the knee may be bent when you're walking. And that creates this leaning forward posture, right? You can imagine if your hamstrings are tight back here, it bends the knee, and then when you walk, you've seen people walk like this before, right? A lot of this has to do with hamstrings, and that's why also people can't bend down, and then when they try to, that's how they start to tip over. So more flexibility in your hamstrings, straightens your knees, opens up your hips. It's this whole chain reaction. A lot of us need to work on the hamstrings. All right. How's that feeling?
Good. Yeah, a lot of just every little different angle can get a different part of the hamstring. So don't stop with just one type of hamstring to stretch. Really try to get the different parts of it.
Yeah, and it really takes time. The hamstrings are usually very strong and very stiff for almost everyone. So you can take 5 minutes even on each one. Just really stay with it. Another option is to just put your leg up the wall and use that one or both legs up the wall. A little more passive, but it also works well. All right, so next one, roll to your side when you come up and then have a seat in a chair. Okay, and you want to lead us through this knee range of motion?
Yeah. So, find a nice seated position, all right? Standing nice and tall, your sit bones, or your ischial tuberosity is the bony parts, all right, right on the bottom of you there, all right? So get those in line with your hips and your shoulders, standing nice and tall, all right? And we're just gonna work on the the quadricep muscles, the knee straighteners, all right? So you can see better from Nate's angle. You're just gonna take one leg and straighten it, come back, straighten the other leg. All right, notice any differences. All right, if you can't straighten your leg all the way, you're gonna notice if that hamstring is limiting you. So, all right, if you can't get your knee all the way straight, all right, that's a sign that you're a little inflexible. All right, so get those stretches in a little bit every day.
And these work together. The quads and the hamstrings are kind of a team. So when one is working, the other's relaxing. When the other's relaxed, the other's working. So one way to actually create more flexibility in your hamstrings, more stretch, is to strengthen the quads. So that the quads, they straighten the leg. And again, if your hamstrings are tight, you're going to need that extra energy to get past the tightness.
If this is hard for you or tough on the knee, you can use that strap again. All right, just make it a little easier and help with a little bit of a stretch at the end. All right, so you can use this sort of as an active way to stretch as well.
I really like also, because sometimes when you've done this for a little while, your back starts to get tired and you'll end up rounding and hunching like this. That's what we want to avoid. So one way to do that while you're still building strength in your torso is put your hands back on your chair and straighten them out, and actually use that to pull your shoulders back and use it to keep your spine straight. So this is one way you can ensure that you're not rounding and hunching as you straighten your legs.
Yeah, it's very, I mean, I'm feeling that tendency too.
Yeah.
So just fight that. If your leg doesn't go, straight, or just angle it towards the floor. Right, it doesn't have to be up high. Right, if it's towards the floor and getting straight, right, that's still helpful too. So just play with that. Just the angle and the degree that you're able to move.
Yeah, and for a little challenge, you can always hover and hold just a little bit longer and give yourself a little extra work on your quads. A little shaking in the muscles means it's getting stronger.
Nice.
Okay, good work.
Alright, so we're going to move down to the calf muscles. Alright, so this one was seated, right? The seated calf stretch. Alright, actually coming to standing. So find a wall again. Alright, and we're just going to try to stretch out this back calf muscle. Alright, so find a comfortable position near a wall. Our hands can be on it. And then we're just reaching back with our heel on one foot. Alright, if your heel touches the floor, alright, maybe have a little wider stance. Alright, so there's room to stretch. Notice your posture again, standing tall, breathing. And go into your toes and come back into it.
Calf flexibility is really underrated also, because when your calves are stiff, it makes your ankles stiff and your knees stiff. So they're kind of this connection between these important joints. So when you get more flexibility in your calves, your ankles and knees are going to be a lot more responsive. This is going to be really important to keep you balanced and to keep your reflexes sharp.
And so notice, start to push your knee back a little bit. Right? Are you getting, the back of the knee straight? Right? It's like the calf muscles tight, they cross over the knee as well. Right? And so that can affect your hamstring and knee flexibility. And relax there, shake it out, other side.
And I always have to remind you as a yoga teacher, keep focusing on your breathing. It's really essential and it makes all the difference. You can stand here and hold your breath and try to stretch, and you really won't get a lot of change. It won't make a difference. But if you can breathe and if you can relax and you can really stretch with your breath, your mind and your body will connect, and you're going to see your flexibility improve a whole lot faster.
Notice your knee. Alright, bend it a little bit, straighten it out, bend it a little bit, straighten it out. And you can start to feel your hip flexors in the front as well. This is actually a good way to get both the hip flexors again as well as the calf muscle at the same time.
Yeah, I'd say this could be one of your daily exercises. Calf stretches, lunges are so essential. Every day is not too much.
Definitely. So now we're going to get into a little bit of hip rotations. Alright, so coming back to a seated position. Some people can do these standing. If you're able to do these standing, that's great. It's a good way to work on balance at the same time. But we're just going to come to sitting, get our nice posture again. Alright, pick our knee up and cross our leg. And my point of emphasis with these is always try to keep your knee a little bit above your ankle. Alright, we're not pushing down this way. Alright, that can put a lot of stress on the knee, so just a little bit above your ankle. Alright, and rock back and forth. Get a really wide sitting base, if that makes sense. If you can kind of open your hips up, kind of, like use your hands to pull some of, the, skin and muscle and whatnot out of the way. All right, that can help open those hips. All right, and then make it a more beneficial stretch here. All right, so you should be feeling on the outside of the legs here. All right.
Yeah, this is really important. The piriformis is right in there. That's usually where people get really tight. If you have sciatica, Often this is the cause, it's pinching off here at the piriformis. So this can be a big relief if you get piriformis, otherwise known as a pain in the ass. So it really is painful, and this can be one way to help. So after a car trip, or if you're sitting for a long time, just doing this cross. And one way to increase the intensity is to just simply tilt your pelvis forward. Now the temptation when you come forward, we see a lot of people, they try to round and they just try to bring their head down. And while you will feel the stretch increase, you're going to be working against some of the posture principles we're working on, which is back extension. So keep your spine tall. You can still fold, but do it from your hip, not from your back or neck.
And if your knee starts to hurt, alright, or you can't get into that cross-leg position, just starting by bringing that knee to the chest can make a difference too. And even with a strap, you can, if you're, have a hard time reaching, or less flexible, alright, there's all sorts of ways to use a strap or a towel like this just to give you that little extra reach, alright? And really cradle that knee. It gets really stiff, so don't hold this too long. We don't want to stretch out the ligaments in our knee, alright? We want to work around them. And switch sides here.
So come back to your breath once you've got the basics of the pose. Really tune in. It may help to close your eyes. Just lengthen your spine. Almost every breath you can think of. Inhale, your spine gets taller. Exhale, just a micro movement from your pelvis forward. Or just relax into where you are. Inhale, get a little taller. There's something called postural erosion. And so the longer you sit in a position, generally the more your posture erodes and starts to disintegrate. So each inhale, that's your cue to perk up just a little bit, lengthen just a little bit.
And then exhale, let go of that tension wherever you're feeling it.
Should we end the video here?
There's just one more here. So start like here, and now we're just going to add a twist. We can go back to the other leg, all right? And then we're just going to twist towards towards that knee, all right? So if you can move your opposite hand to your knee, all right? You can turn, start to look towards the back. And again, keep breathing. Try to keep that really nice tall spine.
I'll show you the side view here. So it's important that you don't use force to twist your spine. Especially if you have osteoporosis, osteopenia, herniated disc, you never want to use the chair or anything and try to crank your back. Always just use it to maintain where you are. So you always have to twist under your own power, and then you can use that leverage, whether it's a wall or a chair, only to maintain where you are. Never use it to crank yourself further.
And go to the other side. That can take a lot of energy. So if you're tired from that, that's not uncommon. So sit up nice and tall. Inhale, twist, and then find a way to support yourself.
Breathing is even more important on your twists, because when you're twisting, your lungs and your diaphragm are usually a little more constricted. So you have to work a little harder to breathe deliberately, but it's even more important. So take your time, breathe fully here.
And if you want to do another set of these, we're going to end the video here. But keep stretching, all right? You can go back to the hamstrings, get a little extra out of that. But really important to keep doing these every day, all right? You want to make a little bit of improvement, and you'll get a little tighter. A little bit more improvement, and you get a little tighter. So just start adding this to your daily routine. Notice where you're inflexible, and make it your quick goal. You'll notice quick results if you get working on it.
Yeah, and you're going to have your body for the rest of your life, so you're going to want to keep stretching for the rest of your life. So get used to it, have fun with it, enjoy it, be present with it. Don't think of it also as just something to get out of the way, but really try to make friends with your body. Use it as quality time with yourself. It'll really pay off in the long run. You're going to feel better, you're going to move better, you're going to have less pain, you're going to avoid tragedies and falls down the road. So these are all things that we want for you. And please share this video if you know anybody who could use a little flexibility in their life, go ahead and share it. Write us a comment, or if you have questions, or if you want to see us make a video on a particular subject. We're here, we're listening, so you can make a request and we can make something for you. All right, well, thanks so much for watching. I'm Nate.
I'm Mikey.
And until next time,
Stay balanced, my friends.